Have y'all got any examples of consulting with truck drivers?
Fidelity of the rulemaking progress, and just say that I have ridden along with many truck drivers and talked about this very issue on automatic.
You're talking to a trucker. I'm in the trucking business. Now, the other thing I want to tell you, and I want to follow up with Mr. Van Drew and what Mr. Burleson said about speed limiters. We have speed limiters out there now. They're called speed limit signs. They're enforced by law enforcement. Ma'am, you have CSA. Do you know what CSA is, the CSA scores?
Yes, sir, I do.
We get them monthly. They show us when our drivers get tickets for speeding. Do you know who also looks at that? Our insurance companies. The free marketplace works. And when a truck driver is not insurable due to speeding, then he's let go or she's let go. So we don't need the federal government enforcing something like this on truckers. And the other thing I just want to finish up with is this. The AAA has come out with time and time again reports that say over 75% of accidents out there when a heavy truck and a car is involved, it's the car's fault. It's not even the truck's fault. But yet you're wanting to punish the heavy Class 8 trucks.
What's going on, Mutha Truckers? Hopefully you guys are having a great day today. Hopefully you're winding down. You're finding some truck parking somewhere, right? Thanks for listening to the show. Of course, if you're driving, make sure you're just listening to it, but I appreciate you guys so much. Today, we're going to talk about a few things. One is actually California has a new rule that seems to be on the side of truck drivers. Basically, anytime that you get stopped by law enforcement, they actually have to state why they're pulling you over. What do you think about that one right there? Second, there's a company that's winding down, and one of us Mutha Truckers just wanted the world to know that, hey, times are still tough out here and big companies are still hurting, right? And the big one is a representative / a truck driver just really puts it in to the FMCSA, Robin Hutchinson, and lets her know the truth about the ways truckers operate and why speed limiters on semi-trucks is stupid, right? Let's get into this video. What's going on, Mutha Truckers? Welcome to Mutha Trucker News. Email us on muthatruckernews@gmail.com. I thought this was a very interesting law that's going into effect in the next few days. Basically, California cops must immediately state a reason for a traffic stop under the new law going into effect January 1st. You already know, the trucking industry is governed by the feds. So it's one of those things where if they want to pull you over all across America, they can just pull you over and they can just say it's for an inspection to make sure that your load is safe. But now in California, if you're driving through, they're going to have to state their reason why. Do you think this is an interesting law? Do you think this is good, bad? Do you think the rest of America should adopt this if you are ever getting pulled over in your semi-truck or trailer? Do you think that the law enforcement should tell you this is why I am pulling you over? I thought that was kind of interesting. And, if you get pulled over in California, they have to tell you. I recently got this email from Aaron Stallings. It says, U.S. Transloco lane drivers off. It says, hey, my friend works for U.S. Transloco out of Evansville, Indiana, DOT 2552722. He's getting let go. He just got a CDL and started working for them 5 months ago. Figured I'd pass the news along. He got this message through an app they use to communicate to their employees. So it looks like drivers for U.S. Transloco got this announcement that says important announcement by Brian Feigley. It says, in October of last year, our company was sold to a private equity group in a leveraged buyout. Unfortunately, it was too leveraged. Freight from our customers dropped by 39%, along with freight rates dropping 33% this year. We have worked hard to increase our client base and have done so. However, it was not enough. With commercial interest rates 3 times higher than last year, lending to companies drastically reduced. We're burned through our cash reserves and can no longer operate in our current capacity. over the next week, we will be winding down to approximately 11 trucks, highly focused on a few profitable lanes. Now, when you look at their safer score, it looks like they have, about 43 truck drivers and trucks. So they're going to keep just, a few of their drivers. It says dispatch will be routing drivers to get back into the area over the next week to start returning trucks to vendors. Nobody has to worry about being left on the road. All fuel will be paid along with wages. We are not shutting down completely, just moving to a much smaller operation. I apologize for the situation, but this is completely out of our hands locally. We appreciate every one of you for your hard work, dedication, and we will be happy to give everyone a reference to help them on their way to find a new position. Hey, US Transloco, it looks like you're doing things the right way. It really sucks that they have to wind down their business, but it's one of those things, man, where it just always seems that these equity firms or whatnot, they're not good for trucking. That's all I gotta say. Every time these private equity groups take over, they're just looking at for profit, and then they just dismantle it into pieces, right? But if anyone works for US Transloco out of Indiana, please let me know. Looks like they just got some new beautiful trucks. They were looking to move forward, but with hard times, they have to make a decision. At least they're not closing their doors, right? But just wanted to give you guys that update. Man, I don't know what it is and why it feels so good when a truck driver just puts it into the FMCSA, because my thought process is we are one of the few industries that just want to work. And nobody wants to let us work, and they just keep on giving us more rules and more regulations. But this representative here owns a trucking company as well and is a truck driver. And he brought up something that was extremely important. We've been talking about these speed limiters, and he says to, Robin Hutchinson, which is the director of the FMCSA, does she have any experience at all with trucking? And she says she's been in several trucks going on ride-alongs. First question of that is, what do you think about that? Should anyone that dictates a whole industry, shouldn't they have a lot of experience in that industry? That's all I got to say about that. It's so strange that people that make rules, regulations, and oversee certain industries have no jack clue how things operate because they've never lived it, right? And so this representative / truck driver put it into the FMCSA and said, look, you're talking about these speed limiters. Well, guess what? We already have speed limiters. All right. It's the speed signs that you see when you're driving on the roads and the highways. And he quotes something that I checked myself, referencing AAA, that 75% of the accidents between cars and commercial vehicles is the cars at fault. So why are they punishing the truck drivers in commercial vehicles when it's the cars that should be speed limited? Check this out here. But I thought this would give you guys a little smile here. And, it poses the question. For the people that are working at FMCSA, especially the director, should that person have at least a few years, if not 10 years plus of truck driving experience in America? I mean, come on now. If you've never driven a truck, how would you understand what rules and regulations would be great for truck drivers?
Do you have any examples of where y'all have been addressing the false activations? Have y'all got any examples of consulting with truck drivers?
Representative, I'm going to divide my comments from the rulemaking to preserve the fidelity of the rulemaking progress, and just say that I have ridden along with many truck drivers and talked about this very issue on automatic.
You're talking to a trucker. I'm in the trucking business. As a matter of fact, I probably own about 80 trucks with the collision avoidance device, is what we call it, on the front of them. And I will tell you, they are not bulletproof. They're nowhere near it. And are you aware of what happens when this device goes off at 50, 60 miles an hour?
Yes,
You're not wearing
points.
You're not wearing a seatbelt, it'll put you to the windshield almost. And it's not there. The technology is not there. And I don't understand why the federal agencies, the FMCSA or NHT, either one of you, push programs. I'm much like Mr. Massey. Listen, we all want to be safe. That's why I tried them. But they don't work perfectly yet, and they're very expensive. As a matter of fact, you can't disable them, so you can't get parts for them right now. So you know what you do? You wind up parking the vehicle. So you're pushing standards that the technology is not available. And I really want you to understand that. I'm not trying to be ugly or anything. I'm just telling you from someone in the industry, that's my outlook on it. Now, the other thing I want to tell you, and I want to follow up with Mr. Van Drew and what Mr. Burleson said about speed limiters. We have speed limiters out there now. They're called speed limit signs. They're enforced by law enforcement. Ma'am, you have CSA. Do you know what CSA is? The CSA scores?
Yes, sir, I do.
We get them monthly. They show us when our drivers get tickets for speeding. Do you know who also looks at that? Our insurance companies. The free marketplace works. And when a truck driver is not insurable due to speeding, then he's let go or she's let go. So we don't need the federal government enforcing something like this on truckers. And the other thing I just want to finish up with is this. The AAA has come out with time and time again reports that say over 75% of accidents out there when a heavy truck and a car is involved, it's the car's fault. It's not even the truck's fault. But yet you're wanting to punish the heavy Class 8 trucks. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Sorry I went over and I yield back.